Hey, what's up? We're back with the all-new show Spotlight on LCTV 66, where we'll be interviewing the young and powerful in Lancaster, sports, business, and entertainment. Today we have Justin with the HeatCheck. It's a special day today. We're doing a breast cancer awareness type of episode today. You see we're all in pink, so we're highlighting some pink shoes that Justin was able to bring with us today. How you doing, Justin?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So tell us a little bit about the HeatCheck. How it started, a little bit about yourself and your background, and we'll start to talk about the shoes.
All right. I've been selling sneakers since 2002. Back in high school, I was a sophomore at the time, so I saw a market. I was on sneaker forums and stuff like that, and certain shoes. I mean, you started seeing they were making a limited supply, and it wasn't meeting the demand. So back then, eBay was just starting to blow up a little bit, and I was starting to see a little bit of a market there. So as a collector myself, I was buying shoes. Maybe I would buy 3 pairs, sell 2 of them, and would actually pay for my pair and make it like a free pair. So as time went on, I did it a little bit more, but I always had a full-time job. 2010 came around. I started to see it started to boom. So I was going to Hack at the time, and I was taking business management classes, and I learned a lot about e-commerce. At first, I wanted to open my own store. But once I learned a lot about e-commerce, I saw a lot less risk, a lot better reward, it seemed like, a lot less overhead and everything. So started a website. I started very small. I might have had 15 pairs of shoes up on the website, and then from there just continued to grow. So, I mean, I was using the site to sell season tickets for events as well as sneakers. And, I mean, now it's transitioning into a blog as well as branch out to another website to sell sneakers. So
cool. That's for me, as a young guy, were you always, interested in sneakers? Were you always, that was kind of your thing, to have that fresh shoe? A lot of kids today, you want those fresh sneakers, you want those exclusive shoes, and sometimes, we can't always have those things. But I mean, for you, as a young guy, was it something that you were always interested in?
It was. Growing up, I was a huge basketball fan. I still am. So, growing up, NBA on NBC and stuff on Sunday, I was a big Penny Hardaway fan. As odd as it sounds, I wasn't a big Michael Jordan fan, but I collected his shoes, so it's like you always wanted to see what the players were wearing.
Right.
So I mean, I was always looking for that because a lot of those top players at the time, Ken Griffey Jr., Penny Hardaway, and Michael Jordan, they all had signature shoes. Right. So when those shoes were coming out, it was basically circling the date. You knew it was coming. Being young and everything, I mean, I had to depend on a parent. So. Maybe 4 times a year, beginning of the school year, Easter, Christmas, and if I'm lucky, on my birthday.
Right.
So I mean, back then, like the sneaker world wasn't as big as it is now.
Right.
So I mean, if I didn't get a shoe the day it came out, I mean, a month down the road, I mean, I might be able to get it even on clearance. So I mean, there's a big influence that tied in from just basketball and sports in general. It created like a hunger of I want this. I want what the players are wearing.
Right,
you want to be like Mike. You want to be like Griffey or Penny. So.
Right. So have you had that experience of sitting outside in a long line waiting for those shoes?
I haven't.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty crazy because now it's you almost have no choice. I mean, nowadays it's if you want to get one of these hyped up shoes, they either do raffles. It used to be camp outs where people were camping out overnight and stuff like that for the actual shoe. Now it's people camp out to get like a ticket to come back the next week, and it's just Nike's trying to be innovative. The camp outs and stuff. I mean, you were getting riots, you were getting fights, people getting shot and stuff like that. I mean, even as recently as last week, a shoe came out, the Jordan Bel-Air, and in Wilmington, Delaware, 2 people got shot in a line just to get them shoes. So I mean, it's fortunately, I didn't have to wait no lines or nothing like that. But I mean, because of that, sometimes I have to pay a little bit extra to get the shoe to avoid the lines. So.
Gotcha. As we talk about, just some of those issues with, sneakers and people waiting in line and having to get tickets. I mean, this is stuff that's been going on since, Michael Jordan, when he started releasing his Jordan shoes, in the early 90s. We heard those stories about, people getting shot for shoes and that sort of thing. Does that play any role in how you go about your business and how you, you buy and sell and manage your business?
It does. It kind of sounds bad, but there is a direct impact of that. Anytime there's not necessarily a tragedy, but anytime that you hear these like horror camp out stories, or I mean, with the way social media is now, if there's a huge camp out somewhere, someone's taking a picture, it's ending up on Instagram or Twitter, what that does is basically create more hype for that shoe.
Right.
So, I mean, the shoes are going to sell out by themselves, whether there's a camp out or not now. Anytime there's like a new Jordan retro, even a hyped up LeBron shoe or something like that, it's going to sell out. But all the extraness that comes with it, like these lines and people missing out and stuff like that, and running online to complain or social media, it basically boosts the value up of the shoe. It just makes people want it more and more because it's that much harder to get. So,
and you know, for me, looking at sneakers growing up, and and like you said, getting the Michael Jordan shoes and getting the Hardaways and the Iversons and some of these shoes that are being retro now. When they retro the shoe, does it still maintain that same value as the original shoe, or does that retro shoe have to go through a certain cycle before it kind of picks up that value the same as it would if it was an original shoe?
It's different. Some shoes, like a lot of people that collected throughout the 90s and stuff, they consider that like the golden era of sneakers. I mean, the quality was better. Those are all the originals and stuff like that. So you have people that will pay more for the originals, but a lot of the shoes now, I mean, a lot of them oxidize, and a lot of them, they're not wearable anymore. I mean, Jordan started coming out in '85, so you got a shoe then that's almost 25 years old. So, or I mean, more than that now, almost 30 years old. So, some of the originals, if it's in good shape and wearable, they'll continue to increase. But if it's a pair that, like some Jordans, like in the community, that they crumble. They're not. You can't wear them. Or even some shoes that have like an Air Max bubble that hasn't been worn forever. They're not wearable. So I mean, when the next retro comes out, sometimes that retro will sell just as much as like the original pair from the 90s and stuff like that. But there's even retros now that will come out and they'll sell for more just because, I mean, they're more limited and stuff now. So even back then, I mean, like I said, the older collectors, the people that now are probably in their 30s and stuff, they're going to value that original pair more. But people nowadays, they want to wear the shoe and they want the newer one, so they'll pay more for the retro than it would for the original. Right.
So it has really it has more to do with the generation and them just wanting that shoe, as opposed to when that shoe was produced.
It does, and it's kind of weird to say because a lot of times now we got kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old that want this retro. They might not have no idea about the original shoe. A lot of these people that they're 18 years old. I mean, Michael Jordan retired in '03 for the last time. So for him retiring 10 years ago now, I mean, these kids are 6 years old. I mean, they didn't see him in his Bulls days, so it seems like they don't care. I don't blame them, but they don't care about having the original pair. They just want the pair that they see now. And they might like the colors of the model. Or
Gotcha. All right, so we have some shoes that you brought along with us today, and I'm glad we brought the pink for Pinktober. I like to call it Pinktober for breast cancer awareness. Can you just go through some of the shoes that we have here and just talk about them and the style and how they're valued in the sneaker community?
Yeah, all three of these shoes they never released in the store. The pair back here, that's LeBron's very first shoe here. It's called the Air Zoom Generation. His mother, her name's Gloria, so when LeBron's signature started coming out, they were making a shoe just for her. And like I said, it was never released, but they did make like a size run, kind of like a friends and family thing. So that shoe was for her. There's really no tie into like the KYA or anything to do with breast cancer there. I mean, besides like the obvious pink that you can wear it for. This right here was his 8th signature shoe. This was actually his first shoe that he wore when he was in Miami. That's also an unreleased colorway. And every single model that LeBron had, there was a pink shoe. Sometimes they released, sometimes they were made just for friends and family. That's another friends and family shoe. This is the shoe that he wore his second year in Miami. Not this colorway, but this is his first model that he won a championship in, and has the KEL breast cancer logo right here on the tongue. So again, it's kind of odd that they don't release. I guess like the pink's not gonna generate mass appeal. So I mean, even if they made a limited run, I'm not sure if Nike's just kind of hesitant to do it with like a signature shoe. The Kobe's actually released and stuff like that, but I mean, they're made for a great cause, but it doesn't seem like, since they're not being sold, the money's not being donated anywhere there. But yeah, I mean, his entire line, I mean, he got pink shoes from, he's going to his 11th shoe right now, and I mean, from the 1 to the 10, there's at least one pink shoe for each model, as well as his like team shoes. So
Now, how do you see, the LeBron James shoes stacking up with, the Michael Jordan shoes or the Kobe's, or now we have KD, who's becoming it's a big star now. How do you see his shoes kind of matching up in the future? Becoming retroed, and they're starting to do it now a little bit with his shoes already.
Yeah.
But how do you see that kind of transcending, or do you still see Mike always kind of having that foothold? On shoes?
I mean, Michael Jordan revolutionized the sneaker game as well as the NBA. I mean, he made everything global, so there's never going to be a Michael Jordan. I mean, everything they're doing now is just basically playing for second. Right. LeBron James had a $100 million contract before he even stepped foot on NBA court. So he's actually, like I said, going into his 11th shoe. So, I mean, he got longevity there. Kobe started out with Adidas, so he got a late start with Nike. His Adidas line was pretty much a flop. Yeah. Kevin Durant took a while for him to take off as well. His first and second shoe didn't do too well. His third started gaining some steam, and then his fourth shoe kind of took off, but it dropped a little bit on the fifth. And it seems like his sixth is very popular right now, but like LeBron's shoes are basically taking over the market. I mean, they're right there neck and neck with Jordan brand. So, I mean, a lot of people growing up now, I mean, with LeBron James being the best player in basketball, it's just like you want to be like Mike, you had all the commercials back then. So, I mean, it's the same thing for this generation's LeBron's our Jordan, I guess. I mean, that helps for sales, especially with him winning a championship now. A lot of people kind of got away from his brand, like his last 2 years in Cleveland. Like, his models weren't that popular, but once he went to Miami and he started releasing some colors that kind of looked like Miami, like South Beach look-alike and stuff like that. So it's taken off, and I mean, it's booming now. They're releasing so many colorways each year, and it just they're catering basically females, kids, men. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. So I think they're going to be up there when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I mean, I'm glad that you were able to come on the show, and I'm glad you were able to kind of educate us a little bit on sneakers and the value that there are in sneakers and footwear. You could tell me better than anybody. People are going over to Europe and going to Asia countries to get sneakers. And is that something that you've ever done, or is that something that
Not yet. I've been over to Europe and everything, and I mean, I buy shoes over there. It's a little bit different over there. It's harder for them to get the basketball shoes. Over there, it's a lot more running shoes, casual, soccer, and stuff like that. But there are certain shoes that Nike and other brands decide to release, like just in Europe. So it's the European exclusives, even like China and stuff. I mean, and then they're so sought after here, and people pay top dollar for them. But I mean, it's crazy that people actually do travel over there just for a shoe. And I mean, like, China's a huge market, so I mean, there's a lot of China exclusives. Even online, there was his third, fourth, and fifth shoe. He had a model that exclusively released only in China. So I mean, if you want to get that, you're basically going to eBay to pay the resale prices. Or I mean, if you're lucky enough to travel over there and get them, then that's how you get it.
All right. So where can we find out more about you? Where can we get online to find out more about the shoes, the inventory that you have? Tell us where we can find you at so we can keep up to date.
Okay. I have an Instagram for my website. It's called the HeatCheck.com. There's no dot in between it. I have a Twitter, which is the same as well. I use both of those. They're tied into my website called the HeatCheck.com. Now, I used to use the HeatCheck.com to sell sneakers and blog at the same time. Now that website is strictly just for blogging. I keep people up to date with release dates. I talk about new shoes. I get first looks at some shoes. I show players that are wearing what they're wearing on the court and stuff like that. All the inventory that I had on HeatCheck, that's all moved over to another website that I'm a part of. It's called InStyleShoes.com.
Okay.
So it's two different websites, and like I said, one's a blog, one's going to be for sale. So it kind of separates it and makes it a little bit easier. Okay.
So the HeatCheck, pretty much the HeatCheck.com Instagram, the HeatCheck.com on Twitter, the HeatCheck.com is the blog, and InStyleShoes.com is where you can find inventory on the shoes that Justin has. One last question I have for you. Who have you outfitted with some shoes?
I've sold to numerous players in all sports. I had a feature recently, which was on a website called sneakernews.com, that kind of opened the gates. I mean, I've sold to Wale. I've sold to Carlos Zambrano in baseball, Michael Beasley in the NBA, Mario Chalmers. I'm drawing a blank. I know there's some other people. Des Bryant, he's actually a frequent customer of mine. Cody Sensabaugh. He's a cornerback over in Tennessee for the Titans. So he's a big sneakerhead as well.
Yeah.
A couple other guys over the years. So
Right,
it actually, I mean, it helps out. I mean,
yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely.
It's nice to have that there.
All right. So the HeatCheck.com. Everybody check it out. Get online, view the inventory, view the shoes. We appreciate you guys for coming back on the show. LCTV 66 Spotlight is where it's at, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.